I have another example of many-to-many relationship type here. Okay, what is many-to-many again? Both sides, okay, or both entity types. Here we have doctor and patient. Of the relationship can have many related instances on one another. Okay, many instances from entity type or many doctors from this entity type are related to many instances of patient entity type. Or we can say it this way, that a doctor prescribes for many patients, okay, while a patient is prescribed by many doctors. Okay, it is many-to-many relationship. So that's why here we have the many symbol placed next to doctor entity type, and here we have the other many symbol that we put next to the patient entity type. Well, it is still incomplete. We will move to the next slide. Okay, remember the same steps that we need to repeat over and over again when we have many-to-many relationship type involving these two entity types. Okay, what should we do? We need to create a new entity type in the middle. So we call it a composite entity type, or we normally call it as the bridge entity type, that it is placed in the middle or in between the two original entity types, doctor and patient. Okay, remember here we have many symbols, okay, placed to the next to the two original entity types. Now, after the new entity type is created in the middle, so what we should do is to replace the many symbol, okay, from the doctor entity type and patient entity type. Okay, the one symbol, the many symbol should be replaced with one symbols here and there. Okay, the same thing that we need to repeat whenever we have a many-to-many relationship between two entity types. Okay, once the bridge entity type, the composite entity type, okay, has been created, has been placed in the middle, then the second step that we have is to replace the many symbols from doctor and patient with the one symbols. Okay, now, so what we do to the middle entity type, we got to then put the many symbols on both sides of the new entity type in the middle. So as a new entity type, it deserves to be given a name. So the name that we give to this new entity type is prescription. Now you see doctor and patient entity types, okay, become the parent entity types automatically, since they have the one symbols placed next to them. Okay, while prescription in the middle, okay, becomes the related entity type, since it has the many symbols placed next to it. So Again, referential constraint applies here. Okay, the primary key of the parent table, parent entity type. Here we have doctor. The primary key is doctor ID. Then we have patient entity type. The primary key is patient ID. Okay, these two attributes or primary key attributes of doctor entity type and patient entity type will have to be assigned as the foreign key fields or foreign key attributes here. So we have the first one. FK1 is doctor ID and FK2 is patient ID. Okay, bear in mind the only difference between prescription entity type and the one that we had before, okay, with order line entity type, is that here order ID and product code are assigned together as the primary key. But here, doctor ID and patient ID are not assigned together as the primary key. They just become the foreign key attributes only here. Okay, while a new attribute is created here, okay, in the middle table, the middle entity type, and it is the prescription ID that is assigned as the primary key. So in this case, we have only one attribute assigned as the primary key. So it is the simple key, since there is only one attribute as the primary key of this entity type. Okay, besides that, we have prescription date and time. Okay, I will explain to you further about this later. Yeah. Okay, why don't doctor ID and patient ID assigned as the primary key? Okay, and why do we need to assign prescription ID as the primary key? That will be explained later. Thank you.